Hi there, I'm Shemaya Gonzalez. As they were watching, he was lifted up, and a cloud took him out of their sight. I can't even imagine what that must have looked like, or how it must have felt to have been there. Painter John Singleton Copley shared his vision of that holy day in his painting The Ascension from 1775. Copley was a Boston painter who was best known for portraits of our founding fathers, such as Paul Revere, John Adams, and John Quincy Adams. While Copley's hometown was in the throes of the Revolutionary War, he was in Italy, where he spent a year studying Renaissance art in Florence and Rome. It was Raphael's Transfiguration at the Vatican that captivated Copley the most. He wrote home that it was the greatest picture in the world. It inspired him to attempt a religious painting of his own. The Ascension captures the moment the resurrected Christ rose into heaven. Copley divided the space horizontally, earth below and heaven above, fallen man beneath rising God. The apostles' clothes are vividly colorful in comparison to the dazzling whites which robes our Christ. Where is your eye drawn to in this picture? We can see St. Peter, who is usually depicted in art with white hair and a beard, and often wears golden cloak over his blue tunic. He's on the left. His arms are outstretched like many others. Are their hands lifted in astonishment or in worship? A few apostles have fallen to their knees. One sobs into his hands. Who are you in this picture? Christ had been with them for 40 days after the resurrection. The scripture says that they talked at great length and asked him many questions. I wonder what they spoke about. I think of the roller coaster of emotions they had experienced, from his death on the cross, and then they had been frightened, scattered. Then news of his resurrection spread, and they were once again united with their friend. But now he was to leave them again. Were they terrified? Sad? You can see this tension in the painting, in the different movements and reactions of the apostles. I get the sense that they're either reaching to be pulled up with him or to gather him back down unto themselves. The scripture says that while they were gazing up towards heaven, suddenly two men in white robes stood by them. Copley depicts these men as angels on the right of the painting. They asked the apostles why they were standing there looking up. These men assured the apostles that this Jesus, who had been taken up from them into heaven, will come again the same way they saw him go. The scripture tells us that after Christ had gone up into heaven, the apostles returned to Jerusalem, and they gathered together with Mary, the mother of Jesus, and some of the women devoted to Jesus in that little upper room they had rented, and prayed. They were waiting. They didn't know what would come next, but we do.